how to destroy MK Ultra gang stalkers and direct their attack back onto them instead of you. There are some people dealing with some really sick things happening to them due to the hatred they receive from others. There are people who are using satanic, government issued, electronic, biologically engineered weapons on innocent, unsuspecting victims. And that's just out of their spitefulness, hatred, animosity, anything you could think of that will cause a person to not like someone. And for other reasons unknown that are going to be made known in this video. There are people who want what you have. Maybe your life. Maybe the things you can do in your life. Maybe the type of person that you are, who you're around. Maybe they want access to those people. Or your life is just too good for their liking and they want to destroy it. They want to ruin it. They don't want to see you with it. So you never know the types of connections people have, or the type of games people are willing to play, or the type of things that people are willing to do to get to you. And with the day and age we live in, with the technology and anyone having access to schematics or directions, or being able to easily learn how to build or construct any type of technological device they can get their hands on, people are able to do amazing things today, whether it be positive or negative. All it takes is a search here, a purchase here, a look up here, spending a couple, however long, watching this. And you have someone that may not have known how to do something easily learn how to do something. And that something that they learn how to do could possibly be harmful to another person, especially someone that they don't like. And when you have people who want to get to you without actually letting you know that it's them, or that they're able to do it, or they want to stay in disguise or under the radar, they don't want to get caught, they're going to do something to you without actually being able to be seen or noticed or found out. So with that being said, there are people who are using certain weapons and certain devices because they're, number one, they're cowards. Number two, they're able to cause an effect on you and you not know who's doing it. And number three, they want to make you look insane. They want you to lose out on life, or lose certain opportunities, lose out on being able to do the things you love the most, whether it's your career, whether it's just spending time with your family, whether it's being the person that you've made yourself to be. They want that to crumble. They want to destroy that. They want to be a helping hand in making it that you can't do what you want to do. All right, these are people who don't have things that they love to do. These are people who are twisted, people who are sick, people who could have possibly been inducted into these types of organizations where you come at people like this or treat people like this in the first place. So you might have some thoughts, you might have some ideas that may not have been yours come into your mind. You may have had some people mimic the thoughts that you've had, and you may not know how. And a lot of people aren't going to be able to grasp this. There are wicked, sick people who have access to devices, weapons, technology, that can read your mind, or that can monitor your thoughts, or that can make you think something and possibly even act upon it. If you don't believe so, the movie Manchurian Candidate shows how they have access to people's minds. They program you, they hack you, they say a magic word, and a person goes off and eliminates however many people they've been programmed to go eliminate. There are people who are aware that there have been some type of experiments, some type of weapons made throughout the years, or throughout the past couple decades, behind the 20s or the 1990s or whatever. And they know that in like the Gulf War, the Vietnam War, in these wars, they know that there's technology that people can use to have access to your thoughts or your mind, or try to program your mental state. If you're that interested, you could do the research yourself. But if you have any knowledge in the area of what I'm talking about, or if you have any information on the subjects in which I'm talking about, you'll know that these things are very real. They have technology to do everything that I'm talking about. I mean, you can even pick up your phone, and I've experienced this myself, where either I said something or I not even said something. You know, these phones can listen. It's not too far-fetched for you to say something, and then a picture of it pop up on a app, on an ad on an app that you're using. You might talk about lasagna, and then later you go on an app and there's an ad for lasagna. That's very wild. Not a lot of people will pick up on that, but it's not too far-fetched. Okay, the phones are listening, whatever. The thing about this technology is, it's not called a smartphone for no reason. Me personally, what I think is true, what I believe is, I believe that these phones can read your mind, because I know I'm not the only one that has thought a thought and then not even spoke, and the phone picked up on what you were thinking. But the thing about it is, once you do a little dive, or you do a little research, or you learn a little bit about a little bit of something, you realize it's not too far-fetched, because your mind releases delta waves, or your mind releases frequencies. Every thought that you think is a frequency. You have thoughts that are going out, you have thoughts that are coming in. Frequencies going out, frequencies going in. And it's not too hard for an industry like the government to develop a device that could pick up on these thought waves. And that's why everyone has a phone today. Yes, it's cool. Yes, it's technology. Yes, it's the new thing to do. But everything is done by design. Nothing happens for a reason. They have these phones on you because they're monitoring you. The phones are tracking devices. They know where you're at all the time. They know where you go. They know where you buy things. They're monitoring everything. They're monitoring what you buy, where you go, what you do. They know the places you go to, because the hookup of the technology and the places that you go, and how, everything is set up today. All this is by design. And it's all by divine intervention too. God slipping through. All right, it's all by design, and it's all by divine. All right, you cannot fight that divinity. It gotta come out. All right, but the thing that I'm explaining is this: they have a particular way of being able to read your mind or monitor your thoughts. And there are people who have tried to get help. There are people who have tried to go to other people and say, hey, I'm hearing my own thoughts, or hey, my thoughts are echoing in my own mind. Like, that's a wild, crazy thing to say to someone, but it's not wild and crazy as you think. You have people who dislike other people, who are evil, that have access to high advanced military weapons or alien technology because they sold their soul and they let a demon possess their vessel. and now they have access to certain types of technology. However form of evil or soul selling that they've done, they now have access to this type of technology. Or whether they opened up a portal and accessed a demon and allowed it to possess them for access to the technology themselves. There are people who are gaining access to certain technology, certain weapons, certain forms of harassing others, whether it be mentally or whether it be some type of surveillance to where they can monitor your movements and then attack you physically via satellite, because people are able to know where you're at, where you're going, where you're going to be. It's set up like this for a reason. People are waking up. Whoever has access to certain information, or whoever has a certain type of energy that they're about to come in contact to, or a certain level of awareness about themselves that they're about to come into understanding of, it's going to raise your vibration and raise your frequency to a certain level. And these phones, the technology, the devices are able to monitor that. And they send that data back to the beehive, or back to the source, or wherever you want to call it, the evil source. And they know how to go from there on who to monitor, who to engage into psychological warfare on, and who to attack. All right, so if you're experiencing people who are monitoring your thoughts and they're playing games with your mind, or they're trying to invade your thought process, or they're trying to basically control your mind, there's a way that you can fight back. And the way you can fight back is you have to use a visualization technique. And you have to strengthen your mind to the point to where whatever it is that you're hearing them say, you have to mimic that back to them. Don't think any of your thoughts. All right, don't think anything. Whatever they're trying to program you with, or whatever they're saying to you, even if it's a thought you just thought, repeat that in your mind, and imagine it being as loud as it could possibly be. All right, imagine what they're trying to program you with going back to wherever it came from. Because the stronger you get with being able to control your mind in a way, and the cat's looking at me right now, all right, the stronger you're able to control your mind in a way to where you could mimic what they're trying to project into it, you're going to destroy their technology and disrupt their frequencies, and it's going to throw everything off. It's going to be like one of those intercom things where the wrong button has been pressed, or it's on the wrong switch, and it's like, and it's like real loud, and it's like people got to cover their ears. It's going to release a harmful frequency. And that's a powerful way for you to attack them back. All right, or another way is you can use your mind, because the thing is, this is why this is the Matrix. Your mind is powerful enough to do whatever it is you want. I know I've probably lost a lot of people making this video, but there are people who understand what it is I'm discussing. All right, you can imagine white noise. You can imagine some type of noise that will disrupt whatever it is that they're trying to hit you with, or whatever it is they're trying to get you to hear. And you can use your mind and strengthen it to a point to where you can overpower whatever it is they're trying to use against you, whatever weapons they're using against you, whether it's a mental attack or whether it's not, whether they're aiming energy or bioelectric engineered weapons at you or not, whether they're aiming these ELF waves at you or not, extremely low frequency, or whatever it's called, the ELF waves, whatever they're using against you, whether it be energy weapons, whether it be MK Ultra, mind control, you have to tap into a Zen state. You have to tap into a state to where you're at peace, where you can find peace within yourself, where you could cancel it out, where you could make it so it's not bothering you, make it so it doesn't exist. You have to basically mind over matter it, if that makes sense. Instead of panicking, instead of getting upset, instead of feeling how they want you to feel. Oh, they're hitting you with the weapon, and now you allow the weapon to hit you, and then that's it. No. If you feel the weapons attacking you, you have to set up a force field. You have to use love and faith as a shield to deflect that back onto them. You have to use your mind's eye, the presence and power of God in you, to visualize that weapon, that voice, that attack, that mind control going back to them. And when you do that, it's going to save you. When you do that, it's going to help you. You're going to be able to gain peace. You're going to be able to block that out. It's going to harm them back to where they're either going to leave you alone or move on to the next person, because they're not powerful enough to combat what's inside of you. And you have to become aware of that. That's why the devil uses people and devices and things like that to try to make you focus on what's outside, what's happening around you, what's happening to you, instead of what's happening in you. It's not about what's happening to you. It's not about what you're going through physically. It's about how you think, how you feel, about your experience, what you say to yourself, what you think to yourself, what you think is going to happen to you, what you feel is going to happen to you, what you want to happen to you. That's what it's really about. But the power of evil, they have to do all these magic tricks and all this mesmerization and all this evil to try to get your mind focused on that instead of the power that you have that's residing within you. So anybody dealing with anything that is on this type of level, because this is really deep stuff, and I know I'm just scratching the surface, and I'm doing the best I can, so bear with me. Anybody dealing with this, you're not crazy. That's just what your enemies want you to think and feel about yourself. You may have to rewind this video and play it a couple times, because what I'm saying is very important, and it's extremely important for those who are dealing with this level of attack. Because you're going to go to people that have no way to help you, and some of them are probably in on it. Things like this are meant to send people into a mental institution. These type of attacks are meant to send people to be in a straitjacket, so that way you lose access to your family, your loved ones, the life you created for yourself. They want you to go through hell. But the one thing a lot of people aren't up on is that your mind has more power than you may know. Your mind is Jesus. Your mind is the Christ. Your mind is God. And all that means is that you have almighty power within you to have control over the things that happen around you. You may not have direct control over what people choose to do, but once they choose to do it, you have control over it having control over you. You can stop them. You can, and on a deep level, or on another level, you can use your mind to you can use your mind to do things that you may not be aware of. I may not be able to get to all of it in this video right here, but the mind is very powerful, and there are people who know exactly what I'm talking about. You can use your mind to stop people from doing things to you that they're doing to you. And that will allow you to gain more control over yourself, to gain more control over your life, to see things clearly, to see things for what they really are, and to see yourself for who you really are. So don't give up hope, and don't think that there's something wrong with you, and don't think that you're crazy. You know, it's not easy to say these things because it's not the social norm, but we got to get past that, because we weren't given the spirit of fear. All right, you're not crazy. There are people who want you to feel that way and think that way, but you're not. Someone along the lines was upset with you. You took somebody's girlfriend. You took somebody's job position that they feel like you never know. It could be anything. I'm just using these as examples. You're driving somebody's dream car. You're living somebody's dream life. You're everything somebody would want to be. People have weird reasons. It could just be solely whatever God blessed you with. There are people who target people for vain things, for vanity. I may be touching on some vain. Oh, those are vain things. That's not of the Lord. There are people who target you for. There are people who could have a problem with you for anything. I may be touching on some vain topics as far as why, but the main reason we all know why is something that was put in us that we're here to do. That's not in everybody else. There's something about us that sets us apart and makes us different than everybody else. And they'll go as far as doing the most, doing whatever it is they feel they need to do, monitoring you from a satellite, listening to your conversations that you have inside your home, trying to attack you with energy weapons, hit you with low frequencies. There are people who have been subject to energy attacks, and if you do a little research on it, you'll see that people have taken other people to court for using these types of weapons on them because they have the injury or they have the symptoms, and when they take it to the police and have them investigated, they'll say that they were subject to some type of energy weapon harassment, and people were pointing some type of energy weapon at their home. And this is real. As much as you may not believe what I'm saying or want to click off or think what I'm saying isn't real, there are people who have gone through this. There's accounts written, there's people who sued, there's books, there's articles, there's countless videos. This isn't the only one. But awareness needs to be spread to things like this. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And you have to stand for what's right. And this is something that I feel isn't right. We all experience different levels of attacks, some greater than others. But somebody has to say something about this. There needs to be someone to speak about this. Somebody has to talk about it. And there are people that may not have a voice. There are people who are experiencing this that may not be able to speak on it. So just because something's not happening to you, or you don't know about it, or you're not experiencing it directly, doesn't mean it's real. Doesn't mean it's not real. Just because something doesn't happen to you doesn't make it not true. Just because someone's telling you something that you've never heard of, or never talked about, or never seen, or experienced, it doesn't mean it's not true. Alright, so for those of you who are dealing with what I've discussed in this video, you have to bring yourself to a state of mind that you can drown it out with white noise. Alright, you can put a shield. You can envision a shield around yourself. You can envision yourself by a waterfall in nature, or listening to a nice breeze like you hear in this video. Alright, that's why God probably has this breeze blowing right now. Alright, you can envision a nice, calm, beautiful breeze blowing. Anything to take your attention or take your mind off of, or drown out other people trying to hack or program or control your mind, making you think the thoughts that they're trying to implant in your head, or echoing your thoughts back to you, or having conversations and you're hearing them talk. You can mimic those conversations. You can have it. You can imagine it turned up so loud to where it destroys their equipment. You can envision white noise and block it out. There are things that you can do, all right, to stop these things from taking over your life, to stop these things from making you go through them, so that way your whole life is in shambles, because that's the only thing that this is going to do. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Pound that like button, pound that share button. Don't forget to subscribe. Keep up the good fight, and know that you will get through this, and that you're stronger than those who are coming after you. Peace.